This is the story of Hansel and Gretel. Once upon a time, next to a great forest, there lived a poor woodcutter with his wife and his two children. The boy's name was Hansel and the girl's name was Gretel. Their mother died when they were young. Hansel and Gretel were very sad. Soon, their father remarried, but their stepmother was very cruel. They are very poor and they had but little to eat. Once, when a great famine came to the land, the woodcutter could no longer provide even their daily bread. One evening, he said to his wife that they have no more food to eat. And his wife asked him to bring Hansel and Gretel out into the thickest part of the woods and leave them there so that they will not find their way back home. But the woodcutter cannot do that. He cannot bring and leave his own child along the woods. However, the stepmother asked it again and again, and she gave him no peace until he agreed. The two children had not been able to fall asleep because they scared. They heard what the stepmother had said to the father. At the daybreak, even before the sunrise, the stepmother woke the two children. Then she gave each of one a little piece of bread. The father took the children deep into the forest and left them there. Clever Hansel, he had some breadcrumbs in his pocket and dropped them on the way so that they could find their way back home. Unfortunately, the birds ate all the crumbs and they couldn't find the path that led them back home. They walked through the entire night and the next day from the morning until the evening, but they didn't find their way out of the woods. They were really hungry, bored, and tired. Finally, after walking continuously for a long time, they saw an unbelievable little house with bread, with a roof made of cake, and the windows were made of clear sugar. "Look, chocolate brick! Let's have ourselves a good meal," said Hansel, very happy. Hansel cried in delight and both ate it hungrily. Unfortunately, Wicked Witch lived there. When she saw Hansel and Gretel, she wanted to eat them all. Suddenly, the door opened, and an old woman came out. Hansel and Gretel were so scared that they dropped what they were holding in their hands. But the old woman nicely asked them to come inside and stay. She took them into the house. Then she served them a good meal and made two nice beds for them decked in white. Hansel and Gretel went to bed and think that they were in heaven. But early the next morning, before Hansel and Gretel awoke, the witch got up, and then she grabbed Hansel and cried him to a little stall, and she locked him behind a cage door. Then she sought Gretel and asked her to fetch water and cook something good for Hansel. Then the witch told Gretel that Hansel is locked outside in the stall and she is going to eat him. Gretel began to cry, but it was all for nothing. She had to do what the witch demanded. Now Gretel was given the carry-free shells only, while Hansel given the best thing to eat every day. The next morning, the old woman called Gretel. Gretel, come here right now to the oven. And Gretel came and said. And when Gretel came, she said, look inside and see if the bread is nicely brown and done. For my eyes are weak and I cannot see that far. If you cannot see that far either, then sit on the board and I'll push you inside. Then you can walk around inside and take a look. But Gretel said, I don't know how to do that. How can I get inside? The oven is big enough. See, I myself could get in. And she stuck her head into the oven. The Gretel gave the old woman a shove, causing her fall into the oven. Gretel closed the oven door and she secured it with a bar. The old woman began to hold right away, but Gretel ran away and the witch burnt up and died. Gretel ran straight to Hansel, unlocked his door and cried, Hansel, we are safe! The old witch has died! The Hansel jumped out like a bird from its cage when someone opened its door. Hansel and Gretel found many treasure lying around the witch house. Then they put the jewels into their clothing and the children set off for home. On the way back, they saw a beautiful swan that helped them across the river. Finally, they found their home and heard that their stepmother had died, and their father welcomed them back with tears of joy. At last, they lived happily together with the treasure and never went hungry again.